With the current state of the entertainment industry, it seemed to most people like this would have been one of the worst possible times to go on strike for both the writers and the actors. But nonetheless, both groups decided we need to take a stand and fight against the studios. And we had one of the longest dual strike shutdowns we've ever seen in recent Hollywood history. But with the actors' strike finally settled with the studios, it seemed like the actors weren't that far behind and they could get back to trying to fix an industry that is dying. Streaming is a total failure for these companies that thought it would be the next big thing. Linear television is a decreasing market with advertisers refusing to pay what they used to, and we've of course seen the failures at the box office. But apparently we took too much for granted, assuming that the actors in the studios could come to an agreement, because today, here's the headline. Hollywood studios break off strike talks with actors who slam bullying tactics. We'd all assumed that after the writers in the studios agreed on something that, to be honest, the writers had that deal about 3 months before and refused to take it, people thought that the actors' strike would be pretty quick to come to a close. But apparently, that is not the case. And just like we see, both sides are pointing fingers. The studios declare SAG-AFTRA talks suspended, slam Guild for rejecting terms offered to WGA and DGA. So now that they have the Writers Guild strike finalized, they figured the actors would be willing to accept some similar proposals. Well, the actors say that that is not okay. SAG-AFTRA accuses studios of bully tactics and misrepresentation over revenue sharing proposal costs as negotiations crater. And one of the most hilarious things I saw in this entire situation was that the studios came back with an offer that was less than what they'd offered months ago. SAG-AFTRA says the studios are refusing to continue negotiations. Studio made an offer worth less than the one proposed before the strike. Studios refuse to protect actors from being replaced by AI and demand use of performers' digital replica for an entire cinematic universe or franchise. And reportedly, what the actors propose would cost the studios less than 57 cents per subscriber each year. Here is the problem, and just like I said with the writer's strike, when you look at what's going on in the entertainment industry right now, it doesn't matter what company you're really talking about. There are massive problems at the box office, at theaters. Fans have walked away from current entertainment. When you look at streaming, what everybody doubled down on, what everybody thought would be so profitable, that's been a failure. It's losing hundreds of millions of dollars for most studios. And as a result of pushing streaming, linear television has suffered. And quite frankly, people are just going to other places for their entertainment. They're not going to Hollywood. They're not going to streaming if they don't have to. They might be going to YouTube. They might be listening to podcasts. They might be on TikTok or whatever else. There are a million other ways to entertain yourself that don't have anything to do with traditional Hollywood. It's just so interesting that after how long it took the writers in the studios to agree to something, everybody was under the assumption that the actors and the studios would work something out pretty quickly, because obviously you have some terms from the writers' agreement that were probably going to resemble whatever they came to an agreement with the actors on. Apparently there's a lot more differences, or maybe, like Nerdrotic suggested, the studios want the actors to remain on strike just a little bit longer so they can cancel more of these projects that they've already committed to. That is a possibility. That was one of the big benefits the studios got from the writers going on strike. One, it allowed them to restructure things, which inevitably will lead to less jobs for the writers when it's all said and done. But they also were able to make some wholesale changes to some of their schedules and some of the projects that they already had that they probably thought were set for disaster. Maybe that's what this is. The fact that the studios, reportedly, according to the actors, came back and offered them a deal that was worth less than what they offered before is also pretty telling. But for those of us that thought, hey, it's probably not going to be that much longer before the actors and the studios agree to something, tensions in the room certainly seem pretty high as they've broken off discussions. Who knows how long this will last? Let me know in the comments section below what you think about this entire situation. One thing you'd think the actors would have realized by now is that there's a lot of people that don't really miss them. Same thing with the actors, right? This Hollywood strike has been much different from ones we've seen over the past couple decades. People weren't standing there and backing the actors, backing the writers, say, get what you deserve. Instead, people are watching YouTube, or they're on Spotify, or they're playing video games. They're doing a million other things rather than tuning in to traditional entertainment. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.